Hello everyone. I have some update on a previous story. Yvonne and her husband had a simple dream. They wanted to live in their own house, a place they could call home. After years of saving and planning, they finally bought a property in Ontario, eager to make it their sanctuary. To help cover the mortgage and manage their finances, they decided to rent it out initially. They found a tenant, a man named Herman, who seemed reliable and trustworthy. Herman appeared to be a good fit for their home, and they felt confident in their decision. They signed a lease agreement, shook hands, and the arrangement officially began. Months later, Yvonne and her husband were ready to move into their dream home, filled with excitement and anticipation. They gave Herman notice, expecting him to leave at the end of his lease. But something unexpected happened that changed everything. Herman refused to move out, creating a tense and stressful situation. He stopped paying rent and claimed he didn't have to leave, ignoring the eviction notice. Yvonne and her husband were shocked and bewildered by Herman's actions. Their dream of living in their own home was quickly turning into a nightmare, filled with legal battles and uncertainty. They sought legal advice, hoping to resolve the situation and reclaim their home. Despite the challenges, Yvonne and her husband remained determined to fight for their dream and find a way to make their house a place they could finally call their own. Herman knew how to work the system. He had been through this process before and was well versed in the legal loopholes that could be exploited. He hired a lawyer and used every trick in the book to stay in the house. From filing unnecessary motions to requesting delays, Herman was relentless. He demanded a hearing in French, even though he had always spoken English with Yvonne. This was a calculated move to complicate the proceedings. He knew this would slow things down, buying him more time. Every delay meant another month of living rent-free. Yvonne and her husband hired a paralegal, Joey, to help them navigate the legal maze. They were desperate for a solution. Joey had seen this before. He knew the tactics tenants like Herman use to exploit the system. He explained that some tenants exploit the system, knowing they can live rent-free for months. It was a frustrating reality for many landlords. Yvonne and her husband felt helpless. They had done everything by the book, yet they were the ones suffering. They were trapped in a system that seemed to protect the tenant more than the homeowner. The legal process was slow and cumbersome, leaving them in a state of limbo. Months turned into a year. Herman lived in their house without paying a dime. Yvonne and her husband struggled to keep up with their mortgage payments. They were forced to make difficult choices, cutting back on essentials just to make ends meet. The stress was unbearable. They couldn't sleep, they couldn't focus. Their health deteriorated. Their dream had become a burden, a constant reminder of the injustice they faced. They felt betrayed by the system, abandoned by the very laws that were supposed to protect them. Section 4. A glimmer of hope. Finally, after 11 long months, a break came. The court ruled in their favor. They had won the eviction case. A wave of relief washed over them. They thought the nightmare was finally over, but their relief was short-lived. Enforcing the eviction order was another hurdle. The local sheriff, responsible for removing Herman, was swamped with cases. The backlog was immense. Yvonne and her husband were told it could take weeks, even months. They couldn't believe it. Even with a court order, they still couldn't get their house back. Section 5. Justice delayed, justice denied. Then, just when they were about to give up hope, something unexpected happened. Herman moved out. He left quietly, without any explanation. He still hadn't paid any rent for almost a year. Yvonne and her husband were finally able to step inside their house. But it wasn't the homecoming they had dreamed of. The house was a mess. They were left with thousands of dollars in unpaid rent and damages. Herman might have been gone, but the scars of his tenancy ran deep. Section 6. Fighting for fairness. In a world where justice often seems elusive, Yvonne and her husband decided to take a stand. Yvonne and her husband decided to speak out. They knew that staying silent would only perpetuate the injustices they had faced. They shared their story with the media, hoping to shine a light on the flaws in the system. Their voices echoed the frustrations of many who had been wronged. They wanted to prevent others from enduring the same nightmare. Their goal was to bring about change, to make sure no one else would have to suffer in silence. Their story resonated with many homeowners who had faced similar situations. People began to come forward, sharing their own experiences and joining the cause. They called for reform, for a system that protected both landlords and tenants. They believed that a fair system was possible, one that balanced the needs of all parties involved. They wanted to ensure that justice, when delayed, didn't become justice denied. Their determination was fueled by the hope of a better future. Yvonne and her husband knew this was just the beginning of a long fight. They spent countless hours preparing documents and strategizing their next moves, but they were determined to fight for fairness, for themselves and for others like them. Their journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the pursuit of justice. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more news and updates. See you in the next video.